Good evening, everybody. It is I, the Pale Reaper. This may be the first story I have ever recorded on this channel. However, it was recorded during the Christmas period, to some delay. I hope you're not too bothered about listening about a Christmas story post-Christmas, but it's one I felt quite excited to release as my debut video. I hope you all enjoy it, and I would like to add that if any of you have any recommendations, any premises, any sort of themes for my next stories, I'd be more than happy to take them into consideration. For you see, my stories, they're all original. If unless somebody is to submit a story, I'd be happy to read it. However, originality is something I thrive upon. Anyway, I'll quit boring you and get on to the story. It's Christmas Eve, and being an only child, I feel my parents are trying hard to hold on to my childhood for as long as they can, encouraging the entire Father Christmas facade, his stories, and the rituals. That my parents also have their own ritual. You see, every Christmas Eve, they have drinks with the neighbours. Sometimes I feel they use the Father Christmas facade so they can assure I'm asleep as an excuse to head next door to get good and loaded. I may be a kid, but I'm not entirely stupid, even though I still go along with it. But tonight, I'm going to have my time. I look into the mirror and smile as I finish brushing my teeth. I then leave the bathroom, the house lit with the faint glow of Christmas lights. I then finally enter my room and fall into my bed, still excited over the anticipation of what the morning will bring. I wait patiently for my parents to begin their routine checkup. I've now learned every creak in the house, so I can tell when my dad's coming up to check on me before they leave. And as ever on cue, I hear the first of the creaks, beginning with the stairs, then the hallway, and the loudest of all, outside of my room. My door is near closed. However, I can see the shadow of his legs before he slowly pushes open my door to peer inside. I notice his face just as I quickly close my eyes, as Dad gears himself up to give my mum the green light to go. I give my best impression of sleeping, and it takes but only a moment before he quickly rushes downstairs, and I hear them finally close the door with an audible click. It's funny how they probably think they're so stealthy, creeping around, checking round the open door. Typical parent behaviour. It's hilarious. The coast is clear. I jump out of bed and switch on my TV, my PlayStation. I spend a few minutes deciding on a game. But first, I decide I'm going to have a little fun. I make my way downstairs and I decide I'm going to eat the snack they left out for old Saint Nick and finish his drink. That'll get him. I find a plate with shortbread and mince pies. I quickly scoff it all down and quickly down the glass of milk. I dart up to my room giggling, my belly full and ready to game past midnight. You see, I've never stayed up past midnight before, and it just felt like a fun mission to set myself. A few hours in, immersed in gameplay, and I've completely lost track of time. I check the console menu and, would you guess, 11:59. My heart skips a beat out of excitement. I did it, and I'm not even tired. I return to my game, but unexpectedly, I hear the audible click of the front door. I didn't even hear them approach the porch. I rushed to switch everything off and quietly slip back in bed. I wait for but a moment, and the house is still silent. No tipsy giggles, no drunk stumbles. Did they close the door properly, I wondered? After all, it's rather a windy night. Maybe the wind pushed it open. I creep out of bed to my door. I tiptoe around the creaky points in the Christmas lit hallway and reach the stairs, when I hear a glass fall to the ground with a smash. A cold chill courses through my body as I cautiously peer through the stair banisters to the front room below, and I see a pale, almost skeletal figure, its skin pale as ice, long, static, wiry hair. It rears its terrifying head, and before I catch its eyes, I pull back, my heart pounding furiously, deafening my perception. I quickly gather myself and carefully creep back to my room. I can feel my entire body shaking. I misinterpreted my step. My foot pressed down only momentarily, letting out a distinct creak. I hear the sound of heavy boots start at the foot of the staircase as I quietly dart into my room, closing my door. Then another footstep climbing the stairs, followed by another. For something so thin, it sounds so very heavy. I notice the flicker of lights under my door, waiting to see its shadow ready to force its way in. A loud creak, a thump, followed by another creak. It reached the final step, and it's now on the landing. I can see it in my mind's eye, looking left to right. It doesn't hesitate. I hear another creak, the one which leads in direction of my room. I am struggling to contain my breathing, the racing of my heart near deafening. I completely forgot my phone beside my TV. I reach out and grab it, racing to call my parents. It rings several times, falls dead. This can't be happening, I cry to myself. I try calling it again. It rings several times and disconnects. Warm tears fall and trickle down my face, realizing no one is coming. No one. But that thing is drawing near. I can hear its heavy footsteps. I can hear its drawn out wheezing. Its long, cold breathing fills the air, followed by the sink of a rancid bonfire, like the smoke of a coal fire. My track of thought is lost as it pauses outside my door, its shadow peering from underneath. I scurry under my bed, moving what I can in front to hide myself when it's forced the door open, half of its hinges. I try in vain to cover my eyes, but for whatever reason I cannot help but look as the red flicker of Christmas lights illuminates its horrifying tall skeletal silhouette. The stench of burning, of thick smoke fills my nose. Its infernal wheezing stings my ears as ice-cold tears cut down my face. My entire body shakes. The hair on my arms prick as I begin to shiver. The room is freezing cold, painfully cold. It breaks the barrier into what I thought was my one safe place. This monster looms and hunches inside, lurking, wheezing, its long, wiry, static hair waving like a terrible halo, its paper-thin skin detailing its entire skeletal detail. I whimper and cover my mouth. It turns to my bed, one loud, heavy footstep after another. I force my eyes shut, my body almost paralysed with fear, my breathing, my heartbeat intensifies. I feel I'm going to pass out. When it turns back to the door, the long, drawn-out wheeze. It hunches back, under my doorframe, and into the doorway. I release my hand and breathe again. It takes another long step, then another. The audible sound of its bare feet slapping the hard wood. A tremendous sound. My mum's calling. Why now? I race to blindly grab my phone from my pocket, failing to cut the call. Instead, I answer it. The thing screams into my room, its cold, fleshy feet pounding like a ravenous beast. It pauses, the red flickering glow lighting its shape once more. It finds silence in my room again. Danny? Hello? I hear my parents' voices call through the phone. Its face appears in front of me as it extends its long, pale arm, wrapping my wrist tight with its long, sharp fingers. It aggressively pulls me out from my bed as I scream and wail for my parents, my neighbours, anyone, to no avail. It unveils a vulgar flesh-sewn sack. I kick and fight with all my might before it rears its terrible face, extending its jaw, until it becomes a terrifying, extended gaping maw, spewing burning soot and ash until my lungs fill with fire before I am consumed by a fathomless abyss of complete and utter darkness. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed that first story. First time doing this, so I hope you guys did enjoy the way that I read my stories. Things are going to change and develop. The more I do these stories, hopefully they'll improve more along the way as well. I do pride myself on my scares. Well, here's till the next one. So please, stop me by subscribing. And remember to keep it creepy.